welcome back. If you are new around here, then hello, nice to meet you. And if you are returning, thank you very fucking much for coming back. I do have a little bit of swearing on this channel. I am saying it's because I'm Scottish, and that is what I'm sticking to. I'm still gonna be sticking to it. Just rolls off the tongue. You can't help it when you're Scottish, I'm sorry. Anyway, this video is going to be my natural looking full face of cream products. I'm not going to be doing eyes, lashes, stuff like that in this. This is basically a base video. I'd seen a wonderful video put up by Lauren over at Bizarre Gardening Accident. Every time I try to say your YouTube channel, I'm so sorry, Lauren. Bizarre Gardening Accident, and I'm going to put it up here. Also, can I just point out, me with the red hair, right? Like, I bet you were all like, are you not even going to mention the fact that you have bright orange hair? I love it. So I've still got my dark on the top, but she's put a little bit more around the face this time. So I'm like, actually, like, I might be ginger now, who cares? But this is the look that I'm going for today. I'd seen Lauren's video and she was talking about a dewy foundation routine, which I really enjoyed. Her video was fantastic. But Lauren uses a mixture of both cream and powder products. I'm going to do just a full face of cream products because that's the kind of thing I like. I like kind of minimal coverage when it comes to my foundation and my look, that kind of thing. Even if I'm doing really exciting eye makeup that day, I still want my skin to look like my skin. So this is the final look. You see, it is dewy, it is shiny, it might be a little bit too greasy for some people. That is okay, feel free to just come out of the video right now. If it's not for you, I get it, it's fine. But if this does look like the kind of thing that you're into, if this does look like your cup of tea, then, you know, keep on watching. As always, grab a cuppa. It's gonna be lengthy. Do I even need to say that anymore? Oh God, I am tired this morning. So, this is me, fresh face, nothing going on. New buddy happening here, old buddies happening down here. New hair colour, new tone. I say new hair colour, but it's the colour I always go for. It's just been a long time. Anyway, I hope the lighting in this video is okay because it is daylight at the moment, but if I open my curtain, wait till you see what happens. It's just gonna be like sunny, massive overexposure. It's not warm in Scotland at the moment, but there is actually sun. So I feel this will be more realistic to what my skin is actually looking like at the moment. I'm going to show you what I do on a kind of daily basis. If I'm not going anywhere, I'm not wearing makeup. If I'm going to work, I wear a teeny weeny bit of makeup. If I'm going to night shift, I don't wear makeup. If I'm going somewhere at the house where, you know, you're going to meet a friend for lunch, you're going to try a little harder, then I'm going to show you what I'm going to do for that. Now, I am still in my pyjamas just because I couldn't really be arsed getting dressed for this video. So let's get started. Now, when I'd seen Lauren do this video, she did allude to the fact that, you know, a lot of things you see on Instagram now are edited, overexposed, airbrushed, etc. What I would like to say is, I'm going to be honest with you, I don't do that to my photos. I like so people can see, you know, I like to call them freckles, probably pigmentation. These areas of my skin, I like pores to be showing because they're supposed to fucking be there. All that kind of stuff, wrinkles, etc. I'm not going to airbrush them out of my photos. And there has been a new launch on Instagram / the internet. Two lovely ladies that I've been following for a while over on Instagram called Rose and Eliza. I will put their Instagrams down below. And they have launched Algorithm, which is an Instagram page, but also a site where you can buy certain kinds of makeup products, skin products, things like that, and that is including Danessa Myricks, which is a brand I've wanted to try for so long. So I got a delivery from them this morning and I thought this was going to fit into this video really nicely. And their whole ethos is about real skin and real skin texture, and that is okay to have. We don't have to be ashamed of it, and I really like that. So I'm going to link Algorithm down below. I'll give them a little shout as well, and I will show you me using some of the products on my skin today. Now, I thought I should give a little nod to skincare because it is probably very important before you're putting anything on your face to have a nice base. I have already done my skincare this morning, a little bit of serum, a little bit of moisturiser, etc. Now, I'm not leaving the house today, but I am sitting in front of a window, so I would suggest that you do wear an SPF if you're sitting at a window where you are getting UVB rays through the window. It is advised. Now, I am not a big primer girl, but if I do use a primer, I like one that's like a Glossy Future Dew or a Kiehl's Glow formula, something like that. So the reason I'm going to tell you about this SPF is because this kind of encapsulates all of that for me. This is the Helio Care Colour Sun Touch Gel kind of, is it gel? Hydrogel, yes. SPF of 50, and it is wonderful. The reason I really like this is because it is tinted, but it also has a slight golden shimmer to it. Now, not yellow gold, because that would just be all funny with my colouring, but a slight golden shimmer to it. And it gives you this gorgeous, like, dewy look to your skin. If it was the summertime and it was like as hot as Scotland is going to be, I would just wear this and nothing else. I wouldn't worry about it because I then could reapply it throughout the day. But at this time of year, I'm still wearing an SPF, but I may apply something else on top of it. So today, that's what I'm going to go in with first, because I feel this is the kind of first point of anything when you're doing any kind of foundation routine, any kind of skincare routine. You should always be wearing your SPF. I'm just going to show you that on my finger there. You can see it clearly does have a tint to it. This is by no means enough for your face. I'm just showing you the colour. And if I show you on the back of my hand here, you can see it's definitely got a little bit of tint, but it also has the most beautiful sheen. And I don't know if you're going to see that on my hand there, but hopefully you can see how much of a kind of gleam and glisten it gives to the skin. This for me is the first step that kind of makes or breaks it. As I say, I have used the Glossy Future Dew before. This just takes the step out of being like, I have to have my SPF and then a primer though, and that is why I really, really enjoy this. If obviously I was going somewhere of an evening, like I wasn't going to be wearing SPF, I didn't need SPF, then I would go in with a Glossy Future Dew or Kiehl's type thing. Those kind of iridescent, you get them all over now. You get budget ones too. It's just those are the two that I particularly really enjoy. And hopefully you can even see on my cheeks there the kind of sheen that it's given. Now I know lots of people be like, I don't want to look fucking greasy. It's not for me. Also, take your SPF right down. Especially, like, I'm not going out today, so I'm not going to do that, but take it right down. If you're going outside, take it all over. I also find that this SPF doesn't irritate my eyes at all, which is very, very nice, because quite a few of them really do. And also remember to do the tops of your ears, especially if you've got shorter hair. Now, I've put that on, and what I will do is go and finish my coffee, maybe watch a wee YouTube video, because I like to give this 15 to 20 minutes to sink in. The reason I do this is because if I go straight in now with a foundation or a concealer, anything like that, I run the risk of A, diluting this product, and it's an SPF of 50 and I don't want to do that, but also I run the risk of pushing the product about and then having areas where I have no SPF coverage, no protection, and I just have foundation over the top, or if I've moved it about with a brush, etc. You know, I like to let it properly sink into my skin. You should be doing that with SPF, and then I will come back and put my foundation or BB cream or tinted moisturiser, whatever it is you might want to put on. Now, I know there'll be people out there who are watching this, maybe you're a mum with 3 kids and you're like, fuck bitch, I do not have time for that shit. I'm a relatively like weird OCD person like that. I'm relatively organised and I like taking the time to actually do these things for myself. That will change, I have no doubt, especially if I have children. And all the people who are watching this now who are mothers will be like, you are kidding, right? But I'm just telling you truthfully what I do at the moment. So for times when I feel like I'm actually going to wear proper foundation, this is my absolute favourite. This is the number 7 Hydroluminous. It does say it's medium coverage. I would err on the side of light to medium. I don't think if you're someone who wants a really heavy coverage, you're going to find that in this. Obviously it says medium, but it's definitely much more of a tinted moisturiser slash BB cream than it is a foundation. But I really like it because it is very, very moisturising. It's very dewy, that's what I like. And if you've got drier skin, this is wonderful. It does have an SPF of 15 in it, but I'm already wearing an SPF of 50 and I always would if I was going out during the day anyway. But this is really nice for nighttime too, and I have wore it on nights out, for instance. Like if I was going on a Christmas night out last year, will not be happening this year, I did wear this because I really, really enjoy this. I think it's a lovely foundation. So that would be my next step if I was feeling pretty fancy. Now, I squeeze out about that much on my hand there. It's not a heck of a lot. It looks like a lot, but it's not, honestly. It's very flat. And what I tend to do with my foundation when I'm putting it on is kind of concentrate on the middle area here. This is probably where I need the most coverage. I am not needing coverage back here. Obviously, you want to make sure it's blended. You don't want to look like you're wearing a fucking mask. Did your mum always tell you that? My mum always told me that. Don't fucking look like you're wearing a mask, Alana. You need to blend it down the neck. Well, obviously. So that's what I do. I tend to take it right down the middle, kind of across these areas where I feel I need a little more coverage. I don't put too much under the eyes, but I have a bit of blueness under there, as everybody does, and that's probably somewhere I need coverage, and a concealer is always something I would be putting on regardless. I would make sure I get right in underneath one of the nose bits too. And then across the chin area, because that is probably where my most pigmentation is, that I don't like. I don't mind the pigmentation on my face because I'm like, oh, it's a freckle. Probably hyperpigmentation from the sun, but I don't mind the look of that as opposed to this stuff here that I'm not so keen on. And as I said before, with your SPF, take this down your neck too, especially if you're wearing a low top, because you're going to look two different colours. So just buff it right into the tatas, that's fine. Now this is a little darker than my skin tone. It makes me look like I've got a little bit of a tan. The colour I use is Warm Ivory, but I kind of like, if I'm wearing a foundation, I want it to look like something. I want it to look natural, but I do want it to look like there's been a little bit of a change to my skin. Otherwise, what would be the point in putting it on? And that tiny little bit that's left there, it's kind of just the one little swip that's left. I will take that and that will be used for my forehead, because again, it's not an area that I feel needs too much coverage. There's not a lot going on in the forehead, but obviously I just want it to match the rest of my face now because I've put it on. I use this kind of NYX stippling brush. I really like it. It's probably one of my favourites to put foundation on, but a lot of the time I use my fingers. I really enjoy using my fingers, especially if it's the first time I'm using a foundation or a base product, because I like to get a feel for it. Now if at that stage you're thinking, things are a little streaky, things aren't looking right, you could go in with a sponge, but I'm looking in my mirror there and I am happy with that. I'm pleased with that. So I'm hoping you can still see. I'll actually just zoom you in ever so slightly. You'll get to see the moustache. Now you can definitely still see my skin through there and here. You're still seeing some of these little areas break through, but I will cover them with a little bit more concealer. But I like that. I like the dewy finish, the shiny kind of glow that my skin now has to it, and that's what I'm looking for. Okay, next up, let's talk about concealers. This one is my favourite. This is my go-to. If I was going to work, because I don't wear a lot of makeup to work, but if I was going to wear anything to work, then I would probably pop some of this on just under here, maybe here as well, and that would be me. That would be it. But I thought we should mention the kind of heavy duty concealers, the kind of Tarte Shape Tapes of the world. This one is Revolution Conceal and Hydrate. Now the only reason I picked this up is because I was too nosy. I was very, very nosy and I wanted to know, well, are you hydrating? You're claiming to be hydrating, but are you? So I don't like a concealer like a Tarte Shape Tape. It's fine if you do, that's okay. But that kind of heavy, heavy concealer underneath my eyes and things is not flattering. I don't like it. And it makes me feel a bit like I look 54 rather than 34, let's face it. So why am I mentioning it, you're wondering? I also would not use this necessarily on these areas of pigmentation. I'm quite happy to use my Glossy Stretch on that as well. But what I would use this for is for active breakouts. If I've got a breakout and it's like super red, super nasty, maybe got a whitehead on it, whatever, you probably shouldn't be putting makeup on things like that. Probably just let them be. But if you have to go somewhere and you have to look semi-presentable, then that's what I'm using this for, because it is very, very full coverage. It's very heavy. And it can be blended out. It's almost a little too light for my skin even when I put it on. It's like you have to be able to blend it quite well. But that is what I would use that for those really nasty spots that you just can't get rid of. So at least they don't look bright red. You're never going to get rid of the texture, but at least they won't look like a fucking traffic light on your face. But today we're just going to go in with the good old Glossy Stretch. It's emollient, it doesn't really fully dry down, and I really like that. Now, just for a second here, I do wear a lot of eyeshadow. I like bright eyeshadows, but when it comes to my skin, I want my skin to look like my skin. I don't really like that overly mask-like appearance. Now sometimes I'll put some at the side of my nose, but because I've got foundation on today, I'm not going to bother. But I'm not really into that really mask-like appearance. I'm not really into baking and all that kind of stuff. I don't feel as flattering for me. If that's what you do, fine, you do you. Please don't take offence to that. So you can see how shiny that is under my eye, and I'm just going to kind of press that in now just to take away some of that shine. But that is one of the reasons I like Glossy Stretch, because it never truly dries down. Now that might not be for everybody, I get that. People will be like, what? I don't want a concealer that's not drying down. But wait till I show you why I like that, because it's so easily solved throughout the day if you're wearing it. And I'll just bounce some of it across the chin here as well. It's never going to totally take, like, this isn't kind of a small active breakout, it's never going to totally take that away. But see, as long as I'm like, it's kind of just in amongst the dimple that I might have, oh, who cares? Who actually cares that much? I don't. I just can't be bothered with it. And do you know what? You should kind of feel like that. Like, if people are going to judge you because you got a spot in their face, like, fuck those people. They're assholes. Okay, so as I said, I don't set my concealer, and I know there'll be people like, oh, what are you talking about? But I don't bother setting my concealer. I can't be bothered with it. I don't feel the need for it. If you're somebody who's overly greasy and you feel like everything's going to melt off your face, that's fine. I don't bother setting my concealer. I don't use powder. I'm not really into it. If I do use a powder at all, it would maybe be a last minute thing, and I did see Lauren speaking about this on her channel, on her video, saying that she quite liked the Hourglass Ambient Lighting Powder. I do too. The one in dim light is probably my favourite, and if I had to pick a powder, it would probably be that one. But 9 times out of 10, and especially at the moment because I don't have it, I've used mine up. It's on the Santa list, don't worry. But because I've used mine up, I'm not going to be buying it anytime soon, and I'm not worried if I don't set it. Also, when I was watching Lauren's video, she did use bronzer, and I think bronzer is something that a lot of people use very regularly. At this time of year, I don't tend to bother because, as I've told you before, Scotland is rarely seeing the sun anyway. But with my colouring having changed a little bit, I'm going to try it today, and we are going to use my old friend here. Now, I was pretty mean to this in my latest kind of drunk makeup bingo. It's not my favourite. I'm not going to change my mind about it, but it is the only cream bronzer that I own at the moment. And I am not going to go and be buying a new gel or cream bronzer just now because, as I said, it is winter. People in Scotland will be looking at me. If I have like loads of bronzer on my face, they'll be like, where the fuck do you think you've been? The Bahamas? Like, there's a pandemic going on, you're not going anywhere. And this country is getting no sun. So I am not going to buy a new one. We're going to go in with this just to round it off and just show you how a cream bronzer will look. But I'm telling you right now, this is not my favourite. Alright, so I'm going to go in with the same stippling brush that I used. And what I tend to do with my bronzer is just take it across the high points. Not highlight areas, but areas that the sun will hit you on the face. That's where I take my bronzer. I don't contour with my bronzer. I don't tend to contour at all. I'm not very good at it, and I don't really bother. But with cream bronzer, I'm just putting it on the areas where I think the sun would have just caught my wee nose, caught my big cheeks, because they're like satellites. You couldn't miss them. And I do like a cream bronzer because it keeps that dewiness, but this one, I just feel like it doesn't, like, you can see it's there. You can see on that side of my face that it's there. It's not doing too much though, and it's just slightly the wrong tone. I just feel like it should be a little bit more ready for me. I would go a kind of pink brown, ruddy brown, rather than a yellow brown, and that's why I don't like this. I also think this is massively overpriced for what it is. I think you can get cheaper alternatives for what this is. As I say, I do put it down my nose because that is definitely an area that would be getting bronzer on it. A little bit on the chin too. You could take it down your neck and stuff as well if you want. And then just across these areas here as well. And once the brush is kind of dry and I don't have anything else on it, I just take a little bit in here to try and sculpt this area of my eyes. But that's pretty much it. Alright, so let's talk about cream blushers. They are my absolute favourite. I own way more cream blushers than I do powder. Now, my absolute favourites are the glossy cloud paints. I adore them, I love them, I think they're very, very nice. But I have got a whole video on a whole horde of other dupes that you can buy that are very, very close to these and a little cheaper than these, let's face it. So I'll put that up there and you can go and watch that. We're not going to get into the ins and outs of that. I thought I would just throw in a couple of honourable mentions as well. The first one being the H&M Dual Stick. Now, these come in lots of different colours. Mine's is an English Rose. It is a kind of dusky pink colour. Probably more of a colour that I would be wearing coming out of winter and heading into spring. So that's English Rose there. It's lovely. These do come in lots of different colours. They even come in a translucent shade now. So if you really like that greasy look like me, it's worth a look. They're very affordable, they're very, very nice, and the wear time on them is lovely. The colours are gorgeous. I really, really like this. I also thought I would just fling a little nod to this cream blush palette from e.l.f. I've had it for some time now, but the colours in it are really nice. It's very, very simple to use. It's very affordable. If you're somebody who's a little worried of cream blushes and you're like, I don't want to spend a lot of money, I don't want to buy a glossy blush for like £16 and I don't think I like it. This is much more affordable and you're getting 4 colours. They are quite nice. These two at the top are probably the ones I've went for most of the time. These are a little bit more summer orientated. I've not picked this up for a while, but it's probably just because I've really been enjoying my gel slash liquid blushes rather than these ones, but this is a really nice palette too and I think it's probably worth a mention. But today we're going to talk about these from Myrics. I mentioned I picked a few things up from Algorithm. I'm going to link them below. I'm going to let you know all about them. They are great. But they are stocking brands that I would generally have to do a customs charge or a shipping charge on or anything like that. If they're coming from America, then I usually have to pay a bit extra for them. And that is the only reason that I've held off trying Myrics before. This is a black owned beauty company, a black makeup artist, and some of the looks I see this woman do are stunning, like unbelievably beautiful, so nice. And especially when I see some of the looks on girls who are darker, like really deep, beautiful chocolate brown skin tones, they are beautiful. I'm going to put a few pictures in here just so you can see how stunning the stuff this woman does, and I wanted to try the brand out for a long time. I've picked two of these up. This is the Vision Flush. It's not called a blush. It is basically for your lips, your cheeks, your eyes, wherever you want to put it. It is just a kind of stain slash colour, and I picked two up, one in Bally Slippers and one in Black Cherry. So let me just open the packets. Alright, so this is them here. They're so pretty. Look at them. So I picked up, this is Bally Slippers. It's a kind of more, it's actually, I was expecting it to be a little pinker, but it looks a little bit more of a kind of neutral tan colour. And this one here is Black Cherry, which is a colour right up my street. You're probably not even see it on this camera, but this is that plummy, like dark burgundy colour that I adore at this time of year. Alright, so this is the H&M one at the top. This one here is Myrics Bally Slippers, so it's definitely much more of a kind of neutral colour. It's not baby pink as you maybe would expect, and this one here is Black Cherry. So today I think I'm going to go with the Black Cherry one. How did you know? At this time of year I really like that kind of frosty in from the cold, like Jack Frost has just snogged your face off look. So that's what I'm going to go with. So I'm just taking the tiniest bit. I say that tiny bit, that's actually quite a lot. And what I tend to do with a liquid blush or a cream blush is very sparingly pop it on the apples of the cheeks and then work it out the way. The reason I do that is because I've got very big cheeks. Look at them. You can't hide from them. They're huge. And I want it to look like I've got some sort of cheekbone hiding back there. So what I try and do is put it on the apples of my cheeks and then just drag it up ever so slightly. Not full on 80s, but kind of 80s. You know how I like to be an 80s bitch. So a little dab here and a little dab here. Oh, we're a bit lopsided there, but that's okay. And I don't go in with the same finger that I've already got the stuff on. I basically then use a clean finger to dab that out. So at first it might look a little scary, but these are blending beautifully and keeping that sheen on the skin, which I love. Actually recently watched a video of a girl who's called Alice by Alice. She's a beautiful black YouTuber and she is stunning. And I'd seen her, was it the Maybelline Mousse or something? She was talking about some Maybelline like cheek products, which is very similar in colour to this. And on her skin, the pop of colour she managed to get from that product. And I'm sure what she was doing was she was putting it on under her foundation and then going over the top, so it just kind of shone through. It was really interesting how she done it. I've really been enjoying her videos actually. So I'm just going to do the same at this side, and don't worry, I know you're looking at me thinking, you look like a clown, what are you talking about, that's not blending. But hold on, you got to give it a bit of work in. You can't just jump in there and think you're going to get it right straight away. So I then go in with my sponge that I had my concealer on and just dampen all of that down a little bit, especially here because there was quite a stark line there. Dampen that down. Now, if I am doing that kind of look, that frosty in from the cold look, I will add a little to my nose, absolutely, because if I was out in the cold, I would have a little red cold nose. And I tend to put it up here as well. I seen Lisa Eldridge do this ages ago. I think she called it like watercolour blushing. But I really liked the effect it gave. So I kind of like it too, and I do like doing it. But I completely understand that it might not be for everybody. But I generally just bring a little bit up here. I feel like it really ties the face in a little. And then obviously a wee bit on my nose too. With up here, I do a bit more thorough blending because I don't want it to look pink as such. I just want that hue to continue just to tie my face. I don't know why I do it, I just think it looks cool. Seen Lisa Eldridge do it, thought she's pretty fucking cool, I'll do that too. And then as I say, I just dab the wee pink bit on the end of my nose, and I just think it makes my skin look more natural. Now what I would do from here is probably go on and do a little bit of my eye makeup, kind of just tie that in. So I'm going to go away, I'm going to put a little bit of shadow on something. I'm going to go away and do some lashes, some brows, nothing fancy, and then I'll come back to you and show you how I finish up my face. Alright, so I put on a little bit of eyeshadow, a little bit of mascara, and a little bit of gel through my brows. I've not put any pencil through my brows, it's just e.l.f. Wow Brow. On my eyes, I've still used all cream products. I used a little bit of Beauty Pie's what's this one called again? On Taupe. Beauty Pie's On Taupe and Laura Mercier's Caviar Thick and Copper. So just a little bit on the outside, a little bit across the top. Melded them in together because I like cream products, and I find if I just then throw a brush in my bag, if there's any creasing happens throughout the day, I just kind of go like that. And it seems to do the job. So that is what I've got on the rest of my face. And now, I bet you don't even really notice the little bits of pigmentation that aren't covered so well, because you've took that distraction away. You're not needing to cake your face and stuff. Just, I know you can still see that one. Who the fuck am I kidding? So where do I go from here? What would I do? It's gonna be highlighter, isn't it? So for me, it has to be cream highlighter as well. It has to be a dewy, almost sweaty glow. I know people are gonna be like, you look like a fucking chip pan, what are you talking about? But this is what I like. Today we are gonna go in with the Danessa Myricks Duet Balm. Now, I am sure that Mario Makeup has like just brought out something that is an absolute, it's not even a dupe, it's a straight up copycat of this. Oh, I can't get it open. I'm just gonna show you what its swatch is like. That's it there, can you see it on my finger? It's basically just a clear balm. Now, if I show you this in the pan, you'll be like, that's silver, Alana. No, it's not. That is actually just the bottom of the pan you're seeing. It is clear. This product is clear. And I think this is glorious. So what I would do is just right along the high points here, put this balm. And it's not sticky. You know, people maybe think, oh, like, you could just put clear lip gloss on. No. I think things would stick to your face if you'd done that. I'm going to just put it along the brow here as well. Can you see? Can you see that coming in from the, oh, that's so nice. You'll be able to see it even better on this side because I've got my light on at this side. Now, I know this is not going to be for everybody. People are going to be like, you look like you just look sweaty. They might feel like this is a bit more of an editorial look. It's not a day-to-day look. I personally love this look. I think this is exactly what I want my skin to look like naturally. I'll just put a tiny wee dab here because I will get oily on my nose, so I don't want to put too much on the snout. Now at the moment, Algorithm only stock the clear one, but I know that Danessa Myricks do like a iridescent pink one, a kind of golden one. They have one as well that almost has this copper shift to it in the balm. It looks amazing. I'm not sure the copper one would work on my skin tone, but again, on the girls that I've seen her do it on with the really dark skin tones, it looks astounding. It looks so nice. Very similar to Rituel de Feel, if you've seen their balms before, those kind of iridescent highlighter type things. That's what it's like. So I'm very excited if Algorithm bring the other colours of these to the, I'm definitely going to try the pink one, definitely. Maybe the gold, but definitely the pink one. So I'm just going to zoom you in again so you can see what it looks like on my face. There we go. Excuse the hairy nose, I'm sorry. So, actually, let me just show you. Can you see this crease in here where the Glossier stretches? But watch. Look at that. It's not there now. It's gone. This side too. See the little crease in? That's all it takes. That is why I love Glossier Stretch, because people might be like, oh, it never dries down. But I can just do that and it's sorted. Like, I don't have to worry about the fact that potentially I'm going to end up looking super duper crepey, or that I've got all this stuff settled that I can't budge. Anyway, so you can see there that glow that I've got going on my cheek. I think that is stunning. You can still see my skin poking through. You're not hiding anything by doing that. And I love the colour here, the kind of colour across my nose, but this sheen, this glorious sheen. Now, if you did feel that was too much, if you felt like your pores were inordinately large here and you didn't want that to show, you could maybe mattify just this area, or just concentrate that balm a little higher up rather than coming, like, I just put it all over the place, let's face it. But I love that. That is what I want. I want my skin to look like my skin. I don't want my skin to look like I'm wearing a mask. And as I said already, I do like colourful eyeshadows. I do like wearing mad out there looks. But my skin, I always want it to look like my skin. If I was going to go in with something kind of on the lips for this stage, what I would tend to do is just outline my cupid's bow, and I just bring this area below my lip down ever so slightly, and then I just kind of buff that out. I just make it look a little bit more like my lips were naturally a little more pouty. That is my Gloss My Heart pencil in number 14. And now I'm going to go back in with that Danessa Myricks Black Cherry on the lips, because as I said, it's a kind of all over colour. And just try that on here, because I think this colour is going to be stunning on the lips. I think with these you can do a really good like Katie Jane Hughes kind of buffed out look. You don't need to have it like super duper expertly drawn lines or anything. You can just make it look like a bit of a stain. Oh, I do like that. That's very, very pretty. I like that a lot. And then finally you could go in with like a clear balm. I'm just going to take the, oh, I nearly tore up my teeth there. I'm just going to take the Pat McGrath clear one because I just want a little something, but I don't want to take that stain away. I just want to leave it as it is. And there we have it. That is my full face cream products foundation natural looking look. That's gonna be a long video title. I'm gonna have to think about that one. But this is exactly the kind of thing I would be going for. As I said, you can still see my skin. You're not hiding anything. I'm still seeing my pores. That is the way I want to be. I want to look like me. I still want to look like me, but I want to have that gleam. I want to look a little bit dewy. I want to look like I've got some hydration, some fresh faced dewy skin going on, because you know, when you're getting into your 30s, you don't want to look like a paper bag, quite frankly. So this is my look. This is what I would do. I hope you've enjoyed that. I hope that you found it useful. Maybe you are somebody who's a little bit older and you're like, oh god, like I can't pull off this look anymore. The makeup I used to do doesn't work anymore. Or maybe you're just somebody a bit younger who's like, I'm not really into all this full face stuff that a lot of young people are doing just now. Maybe you would like to look a little more natural, and that's all right. That's fine. We can pick and choose. Some days I want to wear fucking full ash lashes. Other days, I just want to look like this and look a bit normal. Some days I don't want to wear anything at all, and that is fine. But anyway, I hope this has been useful to you. I hope you've got something out of it. There's a little subscribe button down here somewhere. If you've enjoyed it, give it a little thumbs up. That would be smashing. Very much fucking appreciated. And I'll see you all again in the next one. Bye!